The French government has once again called for the EU to pressure Iran over its role in the Syria war on terror and over Tehran's missile program. French Foreign Minister Jean-Yves Le Drian has said France is determined to ensure that the Iran nuclear accord is respected. He was referring to the US President Donald Trump's threat to pull out Washington from the agreement if, quote, its flaws are not fixed. The US government has tied the nuclear deal to Iran's missile program, which Tehran says is purely for defensive purposes.
The Iranian position will look entirely fair and entirely made in good faith. The United Nations, no less, has said on multiple occasions, as have the EU, as have Russia, as have China, said that Tehran is in full compliance with the JCPOA and always has been since the very first moment up to the present day. Why should Iran bargain away anything else when the agreement that all the parties adhere to is in place and is being fully complied with by the Iranians?
Reuters says it has seen a confidential document in which the three European signatories to the nuclear deal, namely France, Britain and Germany, have proposed new EU sanctions on Iranians who support Syria's government in the war ravaging the Arab country and Tehran's missile activities. France has hinted that all such threats to take new measures against Iran aim to prevent the 2015 nuclear accord from collapsing. The EU and US accusations against Iran over its missiles and the Syria war come as the bloc and Washington themselves are accused by Tehran of destabilizing the Middle East by sending huge quantities of arms to Arab states like Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates to be used in Yemen or sent to anti-Syria militants. France and the UK are two EU members which are selling weapons to the Saudis and Emiratis. Iran is not alone in criticizing their military ties to the two Arab states. A law firm's report commissioned by human rights groups has had said France and its arms suppliers face high legal risks for supplying weapons to Saudi Arabia and the UAE, despite warnings the arms could be used in the war against Yemen. The Saudi-led war on Yemen has killed thousands of civilians amid a deafening Western silence. This has been described as a bitter example of Western double standards when it comes to the issue of human rights and respect for international law.
When it comes to double standards, you can't get much better than France. Throughout the Cold War, they tried to have it both ways, and they're trying to do the same today. They're trying to, on the one hand, moderate Donald Trump's Zionist position on Iran for the benefit of French companies, not through any altruism, don't mistake that. And then on the other hand, they're trying to bark at Iran, they're trying to bark at Syria, they're trying to rally the US forces for another illegal missile strike on Syria, which Nikki Haley recently threatened. And so they have to choose, are they going to be on one side or the other, or are they able to act in a way that's neutral and that's multipolar in the way that many countries throughout the world are now acting? The French have thus far proved themselves incapable of any of that. It would be nice if that could change.
The US, which under Trump is spearheading efforts to pressure Iran, stands accused of lecturing other countries on issues which he has openly ignored himself. Trump has signed a huge arms deal with the Saudis, and it has given Riyadh internationally banned weapons such as cluster bombs. The US government has a long history of turning a blind eye to the Saudis' actions in exchange for purposes of what has been described by many analysts and countries, including Iran, as milking the Arab country.
In terms of dollars, $3 billion, $533 million, $525 million. That's peanuts for you. Should have increased it. $880 million. The C-130 airplanes, the Hercules, great plane, $3.8 billion. The Bradley vehicles,
Ironically, America itself has suffered from the Saudis' actions, including their undeniable role in the creation of such notorious terror groups like Al-Qaeda and Daesh.